Yo, Sagittarius, what's up? Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to talk to you guys, and I'm sorry I didn't get to talk to you for the full moon. I just kind of ran out of time for those, but that's why I'm making you guys a priority this time around, because I really love you guys. Sagittarius is such a fun, bright sign, and I'm really excited for what this new moon in Libra is going to be bringing for you guys. If you guys are brand new to the channel, I'm reading with the Nature Nurture Oracle as well as the Light and Shadow Tarot. Alright? I am really excited, right? Like, I just did Capricorn, and Capricorn I was excited for too because they have that, like, chutzpah, that drive to just, like, get shit done. And the Libra new moon, it's going to be all about balance and about relationships. And not just balance, but like balancing and the act of balancing, right? But also like what that balance is going to bring. And I think the reason I'm drawing a parallel between Capricorn and Sagittarius is because you guys both have this like very strong like forward motion kind of energy, right? So I really feel optimistic, and we'll see what the cards say, but I feel really optimistic about like where things are gonna go for you guys. All right, so in our central situation we have the devil. There's a guy like dancing in the street right now. Very bizarre. Anyway, central situation, we have the devil. You know what I think this is for you guys? I think this is your doubts. You know, Sagittarius, you guys are very quick to draw conclusions about things. And it's because you have sharp minds, right? And you're observant and you have good intuition. But at the same time, how often is that a projection, right? Because that's what ultimately the devil is, right? The devil represents like the worst parts of ourselves. And we project it into like this being, the devil made me do it, right? But it's just the parts of ourselves that we don't know how to handle. So we'll see with more cards, but like, is this going to be stopping this momentum I was just so excited about? Is this going to keep you stuck in place, Sagittarius? Oof. 10 of Wands. Sagittarius, like, I feel like you're letting yourself have it. Like, these wands, this burden is not imposed on you, except, look at this, how perfect, except by yourself. What I love about this deck is that you see that the burden of these wands kind of materializing in this shadowy figure sitting on his back, like a weight on his shoulders, right? But it's shadowy, it's the devil. It's his own inner darkness weighing him down. And you know, my instincts, guys, because even though the moon is all about, and Libra is about balance, it's also about relationships, right? Libra is a relationship sign. And about harmony. My instinct for you guys right now for what this is, I don't think someone else put it there, but I think the way you're dealing with some people is creating this for yourself. And when you think about the astrology of what's going on right now, Jesus fucking Christ, Sagittarius. 5 of Wands. What did I just say about people aren't putting it there, but it's kind of bringing it out of you? Like the card of like conflict, and sometimes representing inner conflict. Right? But I still always, whenever I see that interpretation of this card, it's always like internal and external, right? Like it's internal conflict, but it's caused by like external factors, if you want to put it that way. So where's this coming from, Sag? Like, where's this coming from? Where is this like difficulty you're having with people? So you guys are very friendly, very loving, right? You can be a little blunt, you can be a little abrasive, right? You can be a little, maybe too independent or too solitary. That's weird. But you're ultimately like, ooh, there you go. Huh. I'm answering my own questions here. You guys being a little fiery lately? Are you maybe using that like Sag fire that's like ambitious and creative and like forward charging to maybe like go a little hard with some people? It kind of makes sense, right? Because with Uranus, it's a planet of pushing, right? Pushing boundaries, establishing boundaries, like weird outside of the box thoughts too, right? And you guys are ruled by Jupiter, but I think that there's something pretty similar in the way that these planets are expansive, right? But like can bite, especially like Uranus right now, which is opposing the moon, this new moon in Libra. So it's giving that edge to what Libra is good at, relationships and balance, right? Making it a little maybe abrasive, Sagittarius. Have you been a little abrasive lately? Do you kind of want to fight? Is this making you want to fight? Is this making you like just so heavy that you want to lash out? I'm feeling that for you right now. And let me know if it's true or not. I would love to hear your side. I think you can usually be pretty diplomatic and honest and blunt, right? And I would love to hear that blunt truth, but don't be an asshole. You know, don't do that thing where it's like, what? I'm just being honest, when really you're kind of being an asshole. It's honest, but it's like asshole-ish. Your delivery, at least, right? So it's almost like, I don't want to say like I feel for you guys, because I feel like you won't want to hear that, right? Like, so proud or whatever, like you're good all the time, right? Like you're fine, you're just always fine. But I feel like I wish that I could like take some of this off of you. Like, I wish I had the magic words that let you drop this, right? Because there's so, like, how did I start this off with? So much potential, so much power, in this moon for you, right? But there's almost like an internal lack of harmony that's causing like this. Some promise though. We have the King of Cups. I'm sorry, I didn't clarify. This is Princess of Wands, right? Like the youngest of the suit of wands, but so to me right now, I kind of see her as not knowing how to control her fire. Oof. Like at first very promising, but at the same time, like I think the implications of this are just, oof, Sagittarius. Like, oof, so much emotion. Like so, like you guys feel like so heavy right now. Like heavy, like dark, heavy, like look, bottom of the deck, the Three of Wands. So I'm going to go two ways with this card here. One is that this is kind of the cause of this, right? To me, the Three of Wands represents like vision and outlook and like looking into the future and like daydreaming, right? Like that buildup of ambition and like wishes and things you want to accomplish. And this is where I said, like, I feel like you guys are beating yourself up a little bit. Like, are you being a perfectionist? Are you, like, putting people down because, like, they're trying and maybe you're not? Because you're a little scared, or maybe someone made you doubt yourself? So now you're just, like, kind of paying that shit forward? If I'm wrong, please let me know. Like I said, you guys should be fine with that, right? But also, the reason I said this is twofold, because I feel like this is telling me right now, like, the vision is where the promise lies, right? Like, you guys can be a very creative sign. Right? Very expressive. Very imaginative, very forward-thinking. Right? And that doesn't have to mean like you're like an artsy weirdo type of creative person. Like, I don't think you're weirdo, just like I feel like you guys would think of them as artsy weirdos, but maybe not. But like, just you have the faculties of like the fire in the belly and the mind, right? Like almost a little more than the other fire signs, right? To me, like, Sagittarius is a very cerebral fire sign. And I think that's why it can be blunt, it can be harsh with its words, right? But it's one of the, like, to me, a little bit of the softer fire signs. It's not as, like, it's a little gentler, a little kinder, sweeter, right? And yes, I know, Sagittarius. You're a bad bitch, right? Not gonna try to tell you otherwise, but that mind of yours, I think, is just causing trouble. Like, oh, I cringe picking this card up. It's just like so much trouble, guys, that you're kind of causing yourself. And again, I feel sympathy because it's not completely without merit. You know, someone might have said some shitty things to you, or like just kept you in a situation where you started to feel insecure. Here we go. One of your past. We have the Emperor. I love this for you right now. Right? Like, usually not my favorite card, a little like mundane to me, right? Like powerful. But this is kind of what I see as potential for you to elevate towards, right? Instead of having this kind of dynamic with people because you just like can't not you just have to go there, Sag, right? Like he's controlling his, like, this is promising to me. Like, master of your domain, like all that, like spark and create, like working with people is what I feel, right? And it's perfect for this Libra new moon. This is a Sagittarius who is like able to like work with people, right? To like have good, healthy relationships, to surround themselves with people who build them up rather than make them feel insecure. And you have those people, Sagittarius, I know you do. But my sense is there's like this like clinging thing on the outskirts that just keeps like pulling you down. But here's the Emperor, standing high and tall above all of it. Because what? Because that crazy emotional shit he was dealing with, he learned how to handle it. He learned how to handle it. And how did he do that? How did he do that? Sent this guy packing. Right? Like, there's this great idea in meditation where like you kind of learn to recognize that you are not your thoughts. So you get to this really cool place where like you can meditate and you almost like, not literally, but you can almost like see your thoughts like just passing in front of you as if they're their own things, right? And there's so much power in being able to get to that state where you don't identify so strongly with a thought that pops into your head. You know? Like not internalizing things. That's what it's about, right? Like, your thought is not you. You're not internalizing this feeling you have, right? Like, this one thought about like you being inadequate doesn't become like your reality. Here we go, other path, Queen of Pentacles. I actually like this a lot more than the Emperor. Because what did I say about the Emperor? This, like, becoming this, like, this is still a little, like, yeesh. Can be a little harsh, right? Queen of Pentacles, she can be harsh, but, like, she's more, like, fruitful. This feels more Sag to me, where you're thriving. And then you're thriving, so you thrive, you make the people around you thrive as well. You build things. You create a home, you create comfort and security and love, right? This isn't like an emotional love card, but this is like that provider love card. You know, we're like making a house a home. But Sagittarius, like, these are both powerful, right? Both very powerful. You can argue that in some ways the Emperor is more so because of just like the status element of it. But with this also comes a lot of shit. You know, heavy lies the crown. Like, from your, like, these antlers are growing out of her head. It's not like a weight that's placed on her. Like, this guy can be a little bit of a dick still. And I'm not suggesting to be like a goody two-shoes nice guy all the time, but like this, like, it's more like seeped in negativity and unhappiness and like all that dark shit that sure maybe makes you strong and powerful, but it's kind of like a little bit. You know, Sag? I want you to go here. I want you to start creating. I want you to take this imagination that you've kind of like turned on yourself and made yourself out to be this like inadequate or like in some way bad person, however you're defining that for yourself, like because somebody said something mean about you or something, or like made you feel bad. Like, be blunt with yourself. I know you do it with other people, so be blunt with yourself. It's not about talking yourself up or like, you know, like, I'm perfect, I'm beautiful, I'm a model, I look like Linda Evangelista. But it's like positive self-talk. You know what I mean? Underline this all. Jesus. The 5 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Like, remember what I said about this emotional stuff? Just being like, oof. Oh, yeah, you get here, but like, oh, you had to be here for a while. Dwelling. Oh my God. Sagittarius. Dwelling. Like, do you guys do this a lot? It's a rhetorical question because I know you do. Dwelling on the bad stuff. You're such a like uplifting, aim for the sky kind of sign. So to be like head turned down instead of like facing the stars, like, so not Sagittarius. But at the same time, like, because you're such thinkers, like, you all can get stuck here. Look at that face. Oh, look at that face. You know, I think you guys are lovely. I think you're majestic beings. Relax a little bit. I went a little too far. But no, I'm just saying that because like my heart is kind of big for you right now. Because I know you have a big heart. And it sucks when people have big hearts, like have also a lot of pain. And a lot of insecurity and a lot of self-doubt and a lot of like self-imposed harshness. But again, like, I understand. It's not that self-imposed. People will be talking shit. People have been maybe putting you down. Just don't go too far here. You know, like, use that fire constructively. Lash out if you have to every once in a while. Like, check a bitch. I'm not saying not to. But you know, like, this is like what I was saying before, is like cutting off your nose to spite your face. Like, just fighting to fight. And that's the danger of Uranus with the Libra new moon. It pushes boundaries, but like, at its best, it's forward moving, but at its worst, it's a rebel without a cause. Fighting for the sake of it. Just to burn shit. You know? So don't get caught up in that. I think what you need is support. from people who are like, maybe can't get rid of this, but like their voices are now a new voice in your head where every time that ugly shit comes up, you have someone else telling you you're perfect, you're beautiful, you know what I mean? Someone who can help lighten this. Even if it's just taking your mind off of it for a little while, Sagittarius, bottom of the deck. Like, this is such a promising time for you. The Temperance, balance, like the Sagittarius card. The new moon energy of Libra. Also a card to me of like being stuck in place for a moment. You know, like there's balancing happening, but like there's not that forward motion. But like it's a stewing, you know? So I think for the next 2 weeks until the next full moon, like that's a good place to focus, right? Like your insecurities and your doubts. And if they are coming from other people, how are you going to like separate yourself from that? Because again, we're talking about harmonious relationships with Libra. And with the new moon energy, we have all this potential, creating harmonious relationships with people, kind of being maybe a little bit of a leader, you know, not walling yourself off from people, not like thinking that like you're too weird or too out there. Again, Uranus thing that's going to come up for you. But just like taking the risk of like putting yourself out there and getting your own validation for yourself, right? Like, shit, yeah, I could do it. I just did it. Oh, Sagittarius, like, I don't want to keep going, but like, I'm going to keep going. The Ten of Swords. Defeat, like, this to me is like all of this shit came tumbling down and pat, 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 pat. Or all these people finally fucking got you. So if you find yourself getting to this point, Sag, don't despair, right? Because you might want to cry about it. It might hurt. It's going to. But it's a fresh start. It's a way of letting... It's like if you have a toxic friend and they just hurt you so bad that you can't even look at them another day of your life. Like, painful, but kind of what you needed all along, you know what I'm saying? I want you guys to like have a fresh start, like mentally. You know what I mean? Like, not like, I think it was Libra who had a lot of clutter. And it's not like you need to get rid of the clutter. You just need to make the strong, positive voice in your head, like the loudest voice there. You know what I mean? I think you can do it. I think you can like shout down those other fucking buffoonery voice. Like, guys, you see what I'm saying? Like, Seven of Swords is about like deceit and like playing games and like things being taken. Like, I think it's real. Like, you guys are smart. Like, if you feel like shit is like, people are really coming for you, then they're like kind of maybe actually really coming for you. And I don't know what to say in the sense that like, I don't know how to tell you to not, or to like deal with those people, because I feel like that's just something that you're going to have to learn. And maybe I'll pull a card here, but like, I think what it ultimately comes down to, from what I've seen from the cards so far, is not letting that become this. Not chaining yourself to this. Not making it such like an automatic reaction in your head that like, oh, this person said I'm stupid, so I must be. And I know you don't have those thoughts literally like that, but you're, again, thinkers. Why would he say that? Is there something I'm doing? Is there something I'm saying? And then you're going to go through this whole process of like reflecting on yourself so hard that you're going to draw your own conclusions about like why what this person said has validity. Like, I feel like that's such a sad thing to do. And I think this is going to be the last card, the Six of Pentacles. Like charity, balance, stability, like giving of yourself to the community, right? And this doesn't have to be literal, but I feel like the sense I'm getting here is just very much of like putting yourself in those positive situations and circumstances where you get to be your strongest best self, where you get to kind of be a leader, right? Where you get to share your ideas, where you get to share your vision and have it be well received. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the Six of Pentacles is to me right now for you. Like, giving of yourself in a way that doesn't take away from you, but that makes you stronger. Remember what I just said about self-validation? Like, how can you think you're this guy? Like, how can you think you're the devil when you're like giving meals to little old ladies at the church? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can this survive when that's how you're acting? When this is like what you're giving of yourself and what people are seeing from you? That's just like a dramatic example, but it gets to the point of like really taking on this, like really taking it on. Like, look at this. I'm just going to draw a little visual parallel for you guys. The devil here is a goat horn demon god thing. And then what does she have here? Like, almost like underneath her hand, like just at her feet, the goat. Like, she's tamed this. Do you see that? Do you see that? How this thing is so gentle now and under her control. It has its head down. It looks so subservient. Bottom of the deck, last one, Nine of Pentacles. Like, to me, very similar, like being so solid and standing so strong in yourself that like you just exude shit. Like, beautiful stuff. I love it, Sag. I love it. Like, balance is such a great way to think about that, right? Like, the Libra is about balance, and we're balancing out like the bad with the good, the angry voices, the put you down voices with like emboldening voices, right? Like, that's your work. That's your work for the next 2 weeks. Because when that Taurus full moon hits, when we go through the holiday of death and Halloween, where we deal with those energies of like letting things go, like how perfect almost that like you have to deal with your demons now. But I like that for you because I think they'll be easily conquered. First card we have is the Guide, the Eagle. This is that Sagittarius in my head who's just strong and like visionary and above the fray. Like that archer firing that arrow into the sky, lighting up the sky. Like, this is to me, like, it's not the leadership card, but I feel like it's a sort of leadership right now of yourself that like connects to other people, where it's like you're inspiring. It was like that Katy Perry music video, Swish Swish, where like her team is like, basketball team is doing awful, and Nicki Minaj, who's a Sagittarius, comes out and does this like dope rap, and then like all of a sudden everyone's all inspired and kicks ass. Like, that's you right now, Sagittarius. That's where you need to get to. Like, I don't even need to tell you to look for this, because like I think that this is just kind of always who you guys are. That philosophical thinking, like always analyzing and like figuring out what you feel or what you think or what things mean. Like, this is just you kind of already at your best though. Oh, like, what did I just say? It's not the leadership card, but then look what pops up. The leadership card. Like, what, like, is this not as like clear to you as it is to me? Do you see the connection? Do you see how like being so strong and rooted in yourself and like making up your own story about how things go, not in a delusional way, but like in a, you get to define your own reality and how your mind works and how you think. Like, there's nothing in the world that you can control other than your thoughts. Right? That's like old school stoicism. All you can control are your thoughts. You can't even control your body. If your body experiences pain, you can't stop it from experiencing pain. If your mind takes on a certain thought, you know what you can do? Not have that thought. And you might say, no, I just can't help. But you can though. Like, I'm telling you, like, it's not easy necessarily. I'm not saying it's not gonna come back, but like, you literally have the power to control your thoughts. And let this part of you shine. I love this part of Sagittarius. I really do. I love it. And like, these combined, like, this is such a Sag like combo of energy. You know, like, it's so uplifting and philosophical and spiritual, but also like bad bitch. Like, people want to be like you. People admire you. Gratitude, Sag. I haven't seen this card for a little while. The Elephant, gratitude. Like, this is what I've been saying about like your support system. Elephants are social creatures. Right? Like, I don't think you need to be told this. I think you already know how much this is an influence in your life and how important this is to you. But I feel like this could also bog you down. Like, people are important to you, your social structures are important to you, so maybe you get like way overly disappointed with people if they do something wrong, or like, you know, you go into this dark place that like makes people not want to be around you. That's not really how it is with you guys, I don't think. But that's just what I'm trying to say in terms of like, you're gonna have these people around you. Let them be a support to you rather than like a weight or a burden. Right? Last one. Strength. Yes, Sagittarius. This is such a promising note to end on. And at the bottom of the deck, you're going places. I'm so happy to see this card. The rainbow in transition. It's like the light has been shined. The light is shining down on this motherfucker, and now he's gone, and now you have a beautiful, colorful little rainbow. That ultimately signifies you're moving forward. That's what I like about it so much. It's cheery and uplifting, but it's like so forward moving. And I love that. Love it so much. You know, guys, like, I started off really excited for you, and then like it started to get a little dark, and then it's ending like, I feel like, on a positive note here. Like the next 2 weeks, I think people are gonna see a shift in you. I think people are gonna see you like embracing your best self and like blocking out the noise a little bit, or at least like making a conscious effort to like, you know, in the next, it's only 2 weeks, so if you can't like drop all these, like drop a couple, like lighten your load. You know what I mean? Like, push this guy bit by bit as much as you can, until one day you realize that you're her. And oh, that big scary thing is this little billy goat, head down, subservient at your feet. You don't need to force it. This isn't about controlling other people. This is about controlling your thoughts and yourself. And how beautiful. I can't wait to see the Sages living like this, where they just get to give of themselves, because I think it makes you guys feel good. Alright, guys. So I hope you liked it. I'll be back in a couple weeks with your full moon and Taurus reading. In the meantime, guys, like, stay strong. Stay strong. Like, be committed to yourself. Be committed to, like, the balance being, like, peace of mind for you. And good self-esteem combating, like, the dark stuff. Adios, Sag.